ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages who are not listening to this, because don't if you're a child. We curse too much. Welcome back to the Long and Thick podcast, where we help you navigate the noise and cut through the bullshit in the health and wellness space. Your two pastry-obsessed uncles are ready to riff and raff. Danson?
Yes.
How are you?
I am doing fantastically.
How's that creatine kick?
We're getting there.
Yeah?
We're getting there. If you tuned into the last episode, which we filmed directly before this, we were talking about the effects of megadosing creatine, and I am on the upswing, baby. My brain, my third eye is opening. It is good. How about you? What's new in your world since we talked 4 minutes ago?
Something I didn't share the last time was we didn't record last weekend, which we typically record on weekends, giving all the people the behind the scenes. I was at the card show.
Oh, yeah.
And it was fucking sick. It was very good. We were there, me, Juan, and our buddy Lucas. We broke his cardginity, and so he's now a pokey addict along with us.
Okay.
Sold, I don't know, $1,600 worth of stuff.
You did or
I did.
Okay.
Got a bunch of dope things. We were there for like 5 hours. It was fucking exhausting.
Really?
Talk about overstimulated, like Mountain Dew and neck beard smell, and just like,
I mean, I used to go to Magic the Gathering competitions and conventions. I get it.
Yeah, it's great. Great people. Just
Yeah.
like use deodorant, please. Like it's so chill to do that. Like, like it's really great. Like, but that was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Are people playing? Does anyone actually play the Pokemon card
Yeah.
game?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a whole ass like competitive division of like professional players.
Okay. Because yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed is that the collectability and we'll call it the investment side of it has just been
It way overtakes the
right. You
the
don't
game.
even hear about people actually playing the game rather than just like hedging all of these.
I know, for money. It's tragic, the scalping and all this shit. But there are certain cards too that have a higher value because they are so playable.
Gotcha.
And so people will buy them if they are serious at playing. I haven't played in many, many moons. Not really. They just released the Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch.
Oh.
Which so that it's like literally the same Game Boy
Just
game.
remastered?
Yep. And people are like, why you pay $20 for you could just have an emulator. I'm like, because I'm a fucking Nintendo whore. So that's why.
My legs get spread constantly for this game.
Come on over, Blastoise. Yeah. Charizard, you're next. Yeah. So, what did you leave out of updates?
I don't get to go to very many shows. So on Friday this past week, I went to the reunion show of a very heavy band that came from this area of the world called Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza.
Incredible.
And if you like extreme, noisy, mathy, incredibly discordant, heavy music, they were one of the bigger names of yesteryear. And I think they've been dormant for 10, 12 years since they've at least played in this area.
Quite the resurgence.
Right. I had seen them play in South Florida probably 15 years ago.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting because they kind of helped pioneer a lot of the noisy stuff that you hear today.
How did you describe the shit earlier?
Oh, like super low tuned and with like alien meadly shit on the top end.
Meadly is
It's a very meadly stuff. But yeah, they put on an incredible show. They were tight as a band could be. And for what they play, it was crushing.
Fuck yeah.
So it was really cool. It was a nice little way of absconding from my life for a couple hours. So that was sick. And that is a perfect segue because we are going to drag ourselves and our bad habits in what we call escapist tendencies.
But before we do that, in the perfect segue, we have workout number 2 to hash out.
Oh, yeah. We set this whole bit in motion and I tried to just abolish it.
No, we're just not used to it. I forgot too. That's why I have my fucking handy
I'm looking at it too.
Notepad.
But I will say the title of this episode is before that in my little pad here. So regardless, the episode is Escapist Tendencies, and I was trying to escape away from our responsibilities of talking about our workout of the week. So if you would please.
There you go. So last week we did upper as a whole. For the second workout, we have a lower focused and we're going to start off with a Hatfield squat. So Hatfield squats are done
Big
with
Metallica
a safety bar. YouTube it. It's a great squat. It's fucking awesome.
For those of you who didn't catch that, I was making a joke of James Hetfield of Metallica, not Hatfield. I actually he had to tell me what a Hatfield squat was before this. So I too just had to Google it.
Yeah. Well, look it up. It's worth the learning that you can have.
All right. So with this application and approach, rep range and philosophy behind it.
Yep. We touched on this a bit. Depending on your goals with this, this can be pretty nasty. You got to have quite a good bit of ankle, knee, hip funk in the good way. So I would say I would program these as either, if you really want to get bonkers, we're going to go into like a reverse lunge type with it. Or if you're just trying to really max out, I would say you're going for that top of the barrel, like 3x6.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're really fucking pushing. There's a lot of support. You hold on to the squat rack in some way, shape, or form, depending on the setup.
And this is using a safety squat bar?
You use the safety squat bar, but your hands are not on it. They're out in front of you. So you are allowed to semi pull yourself through your hands. It's not like you can have no tension in your hands as you pull up, but it really helps you push, akin to, I was going to say hack squat, but I think more gyms would probably have a safety bar somewhere than they do like that machine.
Fair.
So I just felt like it was a little bit more.
If the gym does not have an SSB, is there a substitute that we can offer our listeners?
You could take some handles, like some removable handles, and put them on the barbell.
Okay.
Towels, use your fucking sweater, whatever. Bring a shitty towel with you that's a little bit longer, and you can basically make yourself the safety bar. If that still is not happening, then good luck. Here's a free workout. Figure it out. I don't care at this point.
My Lord. Yeah. All right. Exercise 2 is going to be a Romanian deadlift.
Sick.
For those that might not be fully up to speed with them, I'd probably go for dumbbell over barbell.
Okay.
That allows you to get it closer to your center of balance on the sides of your legs rather than out in front of you, which if you're not used to the mechanics could compromise your lower back. So I am targeting with this one, posterior chain and core rigidity and stability, but also just overall hip extension, being able to drive that weight to make yourself upright through your hips. This is going to be glute and adductor focused, not hamstring. We're not straightening the leg. So this will be where our adductors and our glutes take over more so than our hamstrings to stand yourself back up. And also for this might start on a lower rep range for say somewhere between the 5 and 10 rep range, because the real thing is getting comfortable with it, understanding how to brace your core, how to keep your spine neutral. And it is one of those things where you're not going, if you have no experience with Romanian deadlift, you're not going to feel it targeting the places you need to feel yet. You need to have more motor experience. Your body needs to figure it out. And it's a very blurry image of sensation. And then you do it more and more. And it's great with my clients too, because I'm like, just trust me, you're going to follow this range of motion. And like, I don't really feel anything. It's like, well, we need to protect your tendons first. And then at a certain point, the weight starts to meet where the body can properly leverage and lock everything in. And it's like a light bulb. Like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
But you have to be safe up to that point. You have to almost like mime the exercise to prepare both your brain, your nervous system, as well as your tendons to support a more compound exercise. But once you're there, you can have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. And the grip can be a limiter, especially early on for folks.
For sure. So you just got to build it up slow. Exercise number 3.
Number 3, we have a cable box step up.
Ooh, nice.
So we're going opposite hand to opposite foot, right? So left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot. Decently high box, really focus on the transition from weight from the rear leg as you start to lean into the foot and leg that is on the box. Keep as much pressure and tension through your foot and leg as you're driving up. Don't fucking rip the cable up with your arm and become a left-sided or right-sided trap shrug thing. You're not doing that. You're trying to break the box as you step through it. So yeah,
stomp that bitch.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Sweet.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Very cool.
Should be pretty spunky, pretty quick.
So we've got a good amount of quad, adductor, and glutes addressment at this point. So what I will do for exercise 4 is round out kind of a more comprehensive leg approach, and I will just do a seated machine leg curl. Very stable. I prefer a seated orientation over a lying orientation. Not to say that the lying orientation can't give meaningful results, but I find much more stability, much more ease of isolating my hamstrings without the tension mounting up in my low back and having that pelvic tilt.
Yeah, or wanting to like fucking scounce off the bench that you're laying on to pull. Yeah.
So that's an easy auto include for me. You know, whether it's that or a leg extension. We don't need a leg extension on a day like today, on this lower body day, because we have the squat and the step up. Excuse me. But for our full body or accessory day, we would include that as a way of getting more rectus fem involvement. But yeah, wreck them with exercise 5, because this is a favorite of mine, but this is a spicy one. And we'll talk about regressions too.
Sure.
This is when he originally said he was putting this as exercise 3, and I'm like, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
I was like smirking, like, oh yeah,
you can't. And I will say this: if you've never done this and you scale up to your ability to be able to handle this exercise, this is as close to how most people would want to stay away from lunges. You have to do this a lot, and you have to learn to love it. And again, I do love this exercise.
Same.
And I program this for people that have advanced their adductor stability and their core stability, but I will say no more. Lay it on
lay
them.
the crucible down. We have Copenhagen planks. So
Tell them what it is.
Side lying, you usually post a foot, straight leg up onto a bench. So the top leg is all the way out. You have your foot on a bench. Bottom arm is posted, especially
off the elbow.
Yeah, on the elbow. The more under your armpit you are, the more oblique you're going to get as you start to drive your hips up. Yeah, I tell people to imagine like a harpoon came from the bottom hip and is shooting through to the top. You want to try to get your top hip above your top armpit, and you're squeezing through the inside line of that top leg, driving through the bench. Bottom leg is floating.
Yeah. So for a visual representation, you're going to start in an elbow side plank, but instead of having your body almost down at like a 40-degree angle, you're going to make your body as close to parallel off the floor from your elbow. Your top leg is on bench, your bottom leg is below the bench, and you're squeezing your adductors to support you keeping straight on your core based off the axis of your elbow.
Yep.
It sucks.
It is so quickly, shockingly hard.
Yeah. So regressions for that, I would say, if you don't mind me.
Please.
So if you just have never done a side plank at all, you need to be able to hold a side plank realistically for at least a minute.
Right.
That's minimum barrier of entry.
You can go scissor foot on the ground and just
and play with it, because your body is going to need to recruit a good amount of stability in a bunch of different ways beyond just a normal side plank. So move, try to do some rotation stuff as you do it. Play with your arm orientation. Like you said, scissor the legs, move that around. Like, you're going to want to recruit things in places on your body to figure it out, because this is the bare minimum ability you need to even get to Copenhagen planks.
Right.
Not to say you shouldn't do it, because you should. It's an incredibly beneficial exercise, but damn if it's not a tough one to get into.
It is. It really is astoundingly hard.
Yeah. And then if you can, once you're comfortable with there, you would start just with your lower leg on the floor and your top leg on the top of the bench, and just do like a squeeze up to position and then down.
Or you can go knee from your knee lever instead of like at the foot to get the top leg even closer.
Yeah. So that your lever length is not as long, and it's not as damning to your adductors. So then you just worry about just getting up into position, even if briefly.
Sure.
And then hold that for a little bit. And then a good, decent Copenhagen plank for either myself or my clients is I'm looking for about 30 seconds per side.
Yeah.
And pretty much the failure point for that, for me, what I'm looking for is if your lower leg can no longer keep the pinch on the bench or whatever apparatus you're balancing your feet on, that will conclude the rep. or the set, so to speak. And it is a bitch. There's no two ways about it.
One thing I'll add, last piece of this, if you want to make this as absolutely horrendous as you possibly can, your bottom leg will drive through the outside ankle. So you're now letting go of the bench and trying to actually push yourself up with your outer glute. So now you're getting full hip shift happening. And
I see.
You will feel oblique that you did not know your body could possibly have.
So you're using this as an open stance, not closed. So your top leg is pulling down and your bottom leg is pushing into the ground.
They're both going the same way, driving your hips the same way via opposing levers. Yeah.
Full transparency, I have not done it that way, but it does not sound like the best.
It is different.
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. So give that a whirl and let us know how it goes.
It is good. It's a great exercise once you scale up to it, but just that one, just anecdotally, I had a very adept female client, comes from an equestrian background. Generally, those men, women, doesn't matter. But if you have that kind of experience in your background, like you have a good amount of body awareness, you have a good amount of comprehensive strength that most people just don't have at a baseline. And it'll always stick with me. So she could do it just fine.
Sure.
But as she's doing it, she like looks up and she's like, is this going to tear my vagina? It's like, no, it's not. But
I hope not. Yeah.
But the thing was that she was doing it just fine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of intense sensations if you're not used to it. So
yeah.
Anyway, we are going to lily pad over to what we actually were going to talk about today, which is escapist tendencies, which is, we talk a lot about systems and discipline and getting good habits in place. It is in human nature, however, to have equal and opposite reactions to things. So the more we structure ourselves, we still have another piece of our persona desperate for rebellion and doing the air quote wrong thing and getting our jollies that way. And it also comes when we're in low points of our lives, or too stressed, or the world seems like it can't not pile another thing on us. We have escapist tendencies. We ourselves are very human. And this is what we're here to talk about, is the things that we get into when we do fall off the rails. And it's going to happen. Everyone's going to have it happen.
Yeah.
And it may happen in different seasons of your life more often than you might like. You can always get out of it, but just know that no one's a monk. No one is perfectly noble.
Right.
We are not.
Sure.
And we come from backgrounds where we tried to get a lot of this shit out of our system.
Right. It was way worse.
Yeah, more on the straight and narrow. But this is a relatability subject that everyone needs to accept what their personal behaviors are and know that they're not alone. And then we also have our little vices and shit where we trip ourselves up all the time. So with that being said, give us numero uno for you.
Number one, I called vice hopping. So I think people who are from any type of family structure that has dealt with addiction, alcoholism, and those type of behavioral personality flavors, you see the way that certain singular vices have completely either ended somebody's life or made them want to, or just completely fucked them up, right? It put somebody that you care about in a really, really bad situation, and you just sort of watched it happen. So you learn how to not fully entangle yourself in whatever the thing was by jumping around to different variations of pretty common vices. So I would say the most prominent would be like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and then I would say probably shopping, like retail therapy is, those to me feel like the most accessible, socially normalized behaviors that you can also sort of like mask pretty easily.
So just to kind of confirm, you're talking about, you've acknowledged that any one of these things at excess are damning. However, you kind of trick yourself into sampling all of them in sequence to keep yourself getting the hit of vice, but without really going down the rabbit hole of
fully becoming
screwing yourself over.
Yeah, like a functional alcoholic, or For me, the drug thing is not part of that. I just know myself well enough. It's not, I don't even want to, it's not, that's not an escape for me. That would be like a punishment. So, but vice hopping between either seasons of buying more stuff unnecessarily, or, I go through, it's so infrequent at this point, in all honesty, but the pattern recognition that I have around like, oh, during X month, I may have had more drinks than normal by like 400%, even though it was like 5 drinks in the month. It's because the other 4 prior were like 0.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, what is this change in behavior? And again, it's very common for people like myself, if that wasn't clear, who grew up in that type of home situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm just a fucking gangster juggler, basically. Some would say a juggalo.
Oh,
Just kidding. That's its own
family. Woo woo.
He's just the wide eyes from that. Yeah. What do you got for number
All
1?
right. So first one for me is just like cheat meals and sweets. So I love a good sweet treat. I am Ed. We're talking about you're a slut for anything Pokemon.
Yep.
I am an absolute common streetwalker for anything apple baked confection, that kind of thing. I was talking about it the other day. I truly mourn the loss of like the OG original flaky McDonald's apple pie. Like
I never really like got a good experience, like taste of like
it was a beautiful thing. But sweets of any sort, I can really lean into when, and it's not even, I mean, one could argue it's not necessarily comfort. It's just, I just enjoy it. And I find myself when I'm in a season of life where pressure is high or stressful, I will bring my overall intake down. But then what it's replaced with in the diminished eating capacity is usually all sweets. So I still love protein. I will always get protein. I will not completely just like live out of a Haagen-Dazs tin or carton. But yeah, that is something for me when things get a little sticky in life. I'm like, yo, just give me some badass sweet treats. And they're always going to be there, but.
Sure. Do you think if you didn't have the metabolic structure that you do, especially younger, that you would be an overweight person based on those types of things?
I don't think so, because I ate deplorably as a kid anyway.
Right.
So I didn't get to really change my diet until my mid-20s. So I underate and ate not the best things as I was younger, and I was still emaciated. So I really had to pack on a lot of calories, which gave me a little bit of leeway. And then once I was able to up my metabolic baseline by putting on more muscle over nearly 2 decades, that also, for anyone listening, I'm so sorry to say this, but like it gives me a lot of leeway. So I can almost eat whatever the hell I want for the most part, with little to no ill effects. Now, is it good for my blood sugar for a little bit? Probably not. It's good for my digestion? Probably not. But I don't sit there and I'm not like a water buffalo for days after like, oh my God, what did I do to myself?
Bloated. And,
yeah. So my body can pretty much take anything I throw at it. It's more so, principally speaking, is this the best for me? No. And what is the deeper root cause of why
like
I'm
the behavior
this behavior change?
Sure. Yeah. Legit. Next up.
Yeah.
I have intentionally staying up too late.
Okay.
And
is that kind of a punishment kind of thing, or?
No, it is escapism. It's the time, it's the inverse time that people who wake up at like 4 a.m, where you're completely left alone. I have that in the evening.
Okay.
So it's really like, an unhealthy recharge time. It's a time where you're like, oh, I could just stay up. Like I'll just watch the rest of this entire movie. Like it's 2 a.m. Like, and I have to wake up in 4 hours. Like, and I will, but fuck. So, it's a dumb thing like any of these are, but, something that probably developed when I was much younger, had the most safety in my house, like in that narrow window of, all right, everyone's like asleep or otherwise, right? Like you have this time that is just purely unbothered, no other activity happening. And so it's like a odd safe space that should be replaced with the morning version and going to bed at like 9 or like 10. So
Respect.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm taking something that you already alluded to, but for me, a big one is going to be retail therapy. When chips are down, it's even funnier too, because you have a lot of big expenses that happen. We touched on this on a previous episode and the name escaped me, but it's called the Diderot effect. And it is the concept that once you have one large expense, you will look at the relative nature of your life around it, and then you'll want to up the value of something else, and it just keeps going. So
like the new couch has to match the new pillow you got.
Correct. So for me, when I'm annoyed and I'm like, man, it would be cool to just like have, and it's things that I probably won't even use that often, if at all, but like, that looks nice. And we're so one tap happy now. It's, I mean, between the Shop app and Apple Pay and all that kind of stuff and autofill, it's like, well, it's one tiny millisecond thought away from like, I'll just take that and it's at your house in 2 days. Right. So for me, that is a vice for sure. I mean, it used to be music equipment.
Sure.
I more so out of curiosity, but it still does scratch the retail therapy itch, and we can lean into this. I guess it's in our logo, for instance, but like coffee things, new coffee things.
Oh yeah.
I will sleep drunkenly purchase shit all the time. It'll be halfway to bed.
Yep.
And then I'll get a shipping notification 2 days later. I'm like, what did I do?
What? Oh, a new whole fucking cascade of,
Yeah. So that's one for me that I'm always going to be probably guilty of. I try to catch myself. I can definitely feel it happening, but still it's too easy.
You think we should talk about the solutions in some way, shape, or form as we're going through them?
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is just, we've talked about this in other episodes, just using these triggers as anchor points for other behaviors. So you're going to have to be honest with yourself.
Right.
And you're going to have to want to change these things. If you're at a point where you're like, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can't really do much for you. But it is of the most value to recognize the trigger as it's happening, and then also pre-plan, write it down, set an alarm, whatever it is, but have a corrective measure that is triggered by the trigger, and try to blend those two things. That if you want a meaningful change, you're going to have to make it as close in proximity to the thing you're trying to correct.
Yeah. Create a inconvenience around the thing, especially with something like shopping. If I'm buying cards on like Whatnot, fucking auction app, you have seconds to decide if you want this thing. It feels like, you might not ever get that one ever again. You better bid. You paid $40 over market, but at least you have it. The difference of paying cash after I sold a bunch of shit and then was like, do I really fucking want that $300 card? And now this stack of money will get so small.
Yeah, it's not just digital abstraction that you have. It feels like it's limitless.
It feels painful to hand it away when you're like, it keeps going away so fast. And all I have is this little thing or the food or the whatever it is. I never use cash, and it's just like a perfect deterrent for buying
Which
shit.
is tough too, because there's more and more businesses refusing to collect it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but that's a perfect suggestion, is just finding something where you can physically see and feel the damage happening. You're like, I have less. Like my pie just went down, so to speak. Whereas I guess the digital equivalent to that would just be, like you also said, remove proximity and add friction. Just, if you have a problem with spending, remove the apps that you're most frequenting, or just drain your Apple Wallet or something. Take out all the cards.
Can't buy it.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And so that's a good suggestion.
Yeah. I think to go to my sleep shit, even the thought that I have around waking up really early and having gone to bed at like a really early time relative to when I normally would.
What's that like?
Yeah, but the way that it sets up the day, like the peace I feel in my body thinking about having 3 hours before I go to work to like do whatever I want, sit outside, make coffee really fucking slow. There's no rush. There's no hurry. Like it sets a precedent for this is my day to have my way essentially.
Sure.
And it doesn't, not in like the self-centered shitty way, but more in like the using that intentionality and power of decision to make it what I want it to be. We always talk, so many people talk about the like, you know, build the life you want. Like, well, fucking actually do it. And it sucks and it's hard and you're going to have to completely
It's always about sacrifice.
go 180 degrees from whatever the behavior or mental objection or thing is. That's like, it's 9 and you're in bed. I'm not tired yet. Too fucking bad. In 3 days you will be. Right now, you don't get to have the feeling, you know, fill the reward cycle yet. You have to earn that. So
Sure.
yeah.
Delay the gratification.
Hell yeah. Number 3
for you. Yeah.
This one is funny because like the drinking thing I said earlier, this is not something that I like do. But I'm also not ashamed of this necessarily. I call them lung darts, affectionately known.
Ciggies.
The cigarellos.
Not the Diet Coke fridge cigs,
No,
but true
the
ciggies.
actual burn that shit and suck it down cigarette. I started smoking so young. Like, I think the first cigarette I ever had, I was probably like 11
Dang.
or 12. Yeah. So
Straight out the womb.
I was like, fuck this. Put a chain around me. But yeah, there were definitely times in my life where it was for sure a coping mechanism, the quintessential, like you're stressed, smoke break kind of thing that people are making funny memes about now. Shout out Juan ripping Pokemon cards. That
was a good bit.
That was fucking awesome. Or like I saw one's like a dentist going outside and brushing his teeth is like, that's brilliant. It's just
It really is.
playful and fun. Now, in all honesty, I don't remember the last time I was even compelled to like stressfully have a cigarette. But the draw to it around like a special occasion scenario, whatever, we're in Japan, right? Like we went to plenty of bars that were smoking friendly and was ripping darts.
Yeah.
And, you know, where it's appropriate outside to rip a dart, was having a dart. Like, not a good behavior. I know that it's not, trust me, I'm well
You're
aware.
not justifying it, but
No, and I never will try to, but, yeah, it's just, it's not a good thing to lean into or feed, but
yeah,
some of this shit too, in all honesty, maybe this isn't less of the point of the episode, but there is, like we've talked about with, alcohol consumption, like, okay, are you really realistically going to take this away forever? Like you found a love for making craft cocktails and experiencing that stuff much later in your life than the normal window compared to, right, like socially. Like, is the poison worth it? Like, sort of.
Yeah.
I will never, ever in my life forget hiking through the snow, having a beer at fucking 10 a.m. and a cigarette. That was a perfect day.
yeah.
I wouldn't trade a thing about it. I don't regret that. Like, is it a healthy decision? No.
But is it a soul enriching decision?
Fuck yes, it is. Yeah. So a lot of vices are the excess of a good thing for you. It's not a bad thing to buy shit. It's
Right.
bad when you're like in $70,000 of debt and you're like, what's one more? But
Yeah, that's a good point.
right? Like
Very good point.
they're all in some way, shape, or form healthy expressions. Obviously, smoking outside of that, but it's something about the act of the freedom to do the thing. It's like the one cigarette you have.
It's the personal rebellion of absolute concentration and discipline.
For sure.
So it's wanting to feel something outside the pressures of good behavior. And much like how we've talked about alcohol is a social construct, so is smoking though.
It is.
That is its own little water cooler relatability thing. So it is its own in crowd, and you might not ever have conversation with other people of a similar fashion that aren't smokers.
Sure.
So I'm not giving it a absolute hall pass, but it's just a unique manifestation of what happens in smoking cigarettes.
For sure. Yeah. The two, and I'm saying that even, that's a stretch, that I would have a year, are like, I'm not worried about that for my long-term health.
For sure.
In all honesty. Like, so.
Respect.
Yeah.
All right.
What you got?
Number 3 for moi, could not be more on the nose for Escapist Tendencies. It's just going to be travel. I personally feel the constant ellipses of locking in, and as the more and more I lock in, I'm like, I should just go somewhere. I should just go somewhere. So every single time, like, this is going to be the year, no deviation, all work.
Maybe let's not.
Then I pile too much stuff on. Then I'm like on Expedia or looking at like flight things. And without getting too far into it, I am going to revel in the fruits of that vice here in a couple of weeks. So yeah, happened in a similar point where I was just like, man, what the hell is going on? I'm like, you know, it'd be cool going somewhere else.
For sure.
And because things are a couple clicks away, that shit came to fruition in an instant.
Yeah.
And that was when I put this in motion, was probably 3 months ago. And I was like, oh, it's so far away.
Time. Yeah.
And I looked at my calendar and I'm booking out clients. I was like,
oh shit. Yeah.
So it's a blessing and a curse, because I've been on record on this podcast saying that aside from health and fitness, travel has been the most transformative thing for who I am as a person, my values, my psychology, everything, of that.
Yeah.
So it really is important. It's not ever going away.
For sure.
But how it's accessed sometimes might not be the most healthy. And I can admit that. So it is something I lean on to when I am also my worst enemy at stacking the deck too hard against myself, and then having to course correct in a reboundy faction. I'm like,
after the fact. Yeah.
We'll get to that. But and then it's that whole philosophical debate of, well, do you just put your head down and grind and give yourself theoretically access to more travel and more freedom? Or do you just say YOLO and travel along the way, try to build the memories while you're youngish? So I'm sure a lot of people have contended with that particular notion. Yeah. So for me, I go back and forth all the time. It's probably like a season by season basis of like, oh, this is the stretch where I'm just going to do nothing else. Oh, there's a travel alert to Japan.
Where did you say you were going?
Yeah.
Oh, when?
Yeah.
I think I could make that work.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one for me. It is the most escapist of tendencies, is just getting the hell out of Dodge.
But again, the flip side of it is one of the most profound life-changing things ever. So it makes sense that the draw towards any of these things we're talking about have a root in the trunk that is just like so objectively good.
That also sounds like such a gangster euphemism. It's like looking at my root in the trunk real quick.
I'm gonna start carrying just one fucking fat root in my trunk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, plenty of people call their sidearms their stick. So
it's true.
Root's the next.
This is just all of the
root in the trunk.
The treeisms. Yeah. No, man. I mean, I get it. I think I get it for sure. Last on the list, escape. Go into a digital world yet again, but now we're in video game territory.
Blasting some fools.
Blast the fools, catch the Pokemon.
Pop the trunk, grab the root.
That's right, grab the Switch. Yeah, I mean, something that is designed to keep you, like social media or whatever, playing another round, doing another thing, right? Leveling up something that is so meaningless. But is it?
Right.
Like,
well, we've talked about too, of being able to find something youthful and boyish, something whimsical that you can get a piece of that back.
Sure.
However the pursuit might be. Right.
Yeah. It's a means of staying connected with a lot of people that are still in New York or, like a shared interest that's been there from the time that video games really sort of came out truly, in the closer fashion to what they are now, where there's stories and, adventures and things. And again, that maybe we're just the fucking psychological masterclass here of enabling the behavior as we're talking about it. But there is nothing inherently wrong with most of the things we're talking about outside of smoking.
Yeah, it just comes down to excess.
Right. And so, and for myself, I'll say I could easily just like fucking, it'll feed into, you stayed up too late because you played, whatever, longer than you ought to have. And here's the consequences. But, yeah, it's a tough one. Fucking games are sick, dude.
Yeah.
You just showed me that, Diablo cutscene.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been quite some time since I've played any sort of game, especially Diablo, but that was formative in my youth.
What was the last video game you ripped?
So, okay. This was semi-recently, just to get a little rip of what once was. So there was an online game. It was similar to, if anyone remembers, like the kind of side scroll combat games like Worms or Pocket Tanks even. There was one that was a little bit more like silly. Well, not sillier than Worms. Nothing could be sillier than Worms, but it was called Gunbound back in the day, and it was all online, and it was one of the first things too that kind of started ramping up with microtransactions and pay gating certain things, and it was just a side scroll 8-player combat game of like various tank type things, but each one of them was like a creature. And I looked into it a couple months ago, and while the original developer is gone and it's no longer hosted, a South American developer took it over and now hosted it on like an HTML platform.
Oh, okay.
So it's not anything you have to download. It's just, it's on a website.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Before that though, it was, Florida years. I would have a long day of studio work and I would just cool down with either like Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 2. And even when there's many more iterations of Call of Duty, that was just my two that I always went back to, was Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2.
Have you had any kind of itch to like get a PC or a console or something in the last like?
No, I don't know where I'd find the time. And kind of what we're talking about is I don't want to roll the dice on then sinking myself headfirst into it and hyper fixating, because my next piece of this puzzle is very akin to what we're talking about.
Well, in the fucking horrible friend fashion,
I should, huh?
You know what? It works really well on the plane to Japan is a Switch in your hands. It just,
True. Did you bring it with you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you got to come up pretty hard after you got DK on the way home.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That saved me from on our crazy ass adventure back where we were at what airport in Canada where the fucking plane flipped. Where was that? Sacramento?
It's California.
Sorry, I mean
Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa.
Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. The day before that we had gotten delayed, and so we were just playing Mario Party,
which is kind of crazy in hindsight too, how like I got boned on the going to Japan. You guys got boned. You got boned twice as hard coming back for sure.
Yeah, Blizzard that's where we met the orb in the car. That picture of that guy just looks like a fucking full. He was like, sniffing Corb's neck as hard as he could. It's crazy. Yeah, just kidding. Don't buy it for travel, but maybe.
Well, my last piece on this is, we'll put this under the same umbrella, but side questing and aimless research. And why it is escapist is, one, I'm good at hyperfixating on anything and bringing myself up to speed on certain things, whether it be insight, technical ability, that kind of thing. That's a good talent of mine. But the problem is why it's escapist is it's usually diametrically opposed to something that I want to actually be doing for myself or moving forward in.
Sure.
So if I'm really pedaling down on growing my business and fleshing that out in various avenues, sometimes I'm just like,
let's study irrigation.
Yes. Yeah. It could be anything like that. So I'm really good at picking up novel pursuits that don't really do anything for me, but it's like, this is new. I don't know anything about that, but I can maybe learn everything in 6 weeks. Yeah. So that is a particular vice of mine, and it is harmless at the end of the day.
Sure.
But it is in direct opposition of certain things I actively want for myself and should be focusing all of my intention and attention into. But like I said, equal and opposite reactions. When you try so hard for something, there's this other rebounding force. Like, yeah, what about this though?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's almost like what you said about the freedom to eat whatever, right? Like you earn that via the intensity of pouring into the good thing or the thing that you want. And then as a byproduct, you're like, oh, I can use this time to do whatever other thing.
Yeah. And at least for now, this is a solution for me just to like actively say for accountability's sake is while this is harmless in nature, it is putting up roadblocks into things that like I actively do want. So as an accountability thing, as a solution, I am drawing attention to that personally, basically, you know, the martyrdom factor of just like, hey, you should be doing better. And that's not to say that I can't use my time for things other than just pure work, but I do have goals and it's kind of a personal accountability call out for myself of like, get your shit done also.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect it, but also let yourself do that too.
I love irrigation, dude.
Yeah. Fucking can't wait to look up every form of water transportation. Hell yeah. Anything else to add?
No, I mean, just know at the end of the day, you have to be truly honest with yourself. You are deluded if you think these things don't also
exist
happen
for you.
And pop up in your own life. And we are human, and this is human tendencies. So if things are not moving in a direction that you want, you might have to look a little more inwardly to what these habits are. And then really also have that tough conversation of like, what are you willing to sacrifice to ensure they don't happen as often or as deeply, because they're going to happen. And trying to just find habits and anchored trigger mechanisms to stop them from happening as frequently is going to be in everybody's best interest, but we're human. So there's only so much to solve on that particular front.
Yeah. Don't do it alone, and don't be a wound licker. If you and somebody else are like, hey, let's try to, level some stuff up. I feel like I keep falling into the same bullshit thing, like whatever it is, you fill in the blank. And then you meet up and talk about it, and you both fucking sulk and cry about how it's so hard and whatever. Like, you're focusing on the wrong piece. And so make sure that your accountability is like judgment free, outside of it being that you're a pedophile, right? Like then you're sort of fucked. We'll go on record gladly to join that side of the camp.
Sure.
But yeah, stay away from that wound licking side, because it can feel like you're doing something active for yourself, because there's such a big like emotional response that comes with even fessing up to some of these things for the first time. If you're like, if it's a harder activity to look within and share it with someone, you will be better off for it, but don't let it be a pity party. Make sure that there's like, okay, heard, you want to do this? Gotcha. I don't really care what the thing is. Like, just hold your people accountable.
For sure. And to that same point too, know that when someone presses you for your own accountability, that is generally from a place of love, not disrespect.
Right.
And you need to be able to differentiate what that is. If your friend's like, oh, you're a piece of shit, and just says that, but it's like, okay, that's probably bad. But if your friend's like, hey, I'm noticing these behaviors, it's probably self-destructive, I'm worried, can we talk about that? That is not in any way disrespectful. And people need to, and it's personal. Yeah. But if a lot can be seen from the outside, like when you're in the tunnel vision of your life, you might not realize that these patterns exist or as strongly as they might be manifesting. For sure. So if someone, family, friend, loved one, doesn't matter, like, hey, like, can we talk about this? Like, it is also your responsibility to, even if your knee-jerk reaction is to be super defensive, give yourself a beat, give yourself 5, 30, 2 minutes, but like, look at that situation, because that's a really big red flag for you and a green flag for the people who love you. It's like, hey, we want you to not shoot yourself in the foot. So something to think about. Yep. Chomp on it, give it a thought. And we appreciate you being here. Till next time, motherfuckers. Adios. Bye.